Commitment to providing accessible education, vocational studies to residents. Federal government seeks stronger regional ties to curb conflicts. On the foreign scene, United States President Donald Trump moves to cut U.S. funding towards foreign humanitarian aid. And in sport, Nigeria's Flying Eagles reopens camp in preparation for CAF Waffle B Under 20 Boys Cup. Now the details. Dele Agadumo. Lagos State government has reaffirmed its unwavering commitment to providing accessible, high-quality education and vocational training to all its residents. This commitment underscores a continued effort to prioritize mass literacy and foster an inclusive society as the Lagos State Ministry of Tertiary Education, through the State Agency for Mass Education, convened a vital stakeholders forum on continuing education in Lagos State. The event themed Raising the Bar, Quality Assurance in Continuing Education Centers, gathered esteemed dignitaries, dedicated educators, and key stakeholders to deliberate on enhancing the quality of education across the state. Director of the Agency for Mass Education, Oluwakemi Kalesonwo, highlighted the agency's extensive reach, noting that the operation of several literacy centers and 8 vocational training centers statewide. These centers, according to her, are instrumental in providing essential skills training and educational opportunities to all residents. In his speech, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry, Wahid Kasali, emphasized the critical role of literacy for navigating the dynamic environment of Lagos. He underscored the state's robust agenda for education and technology designed to empower its populace. The 9th edition of the annual Tolaram Science Challenge for secondary school students in the Ibejuleki area of Lagos State ended on a high note, with Iwerekun Community Senior High School, Lakowe, emerging as the overall winner. The school secured first position for the second year in a row, solidifying its reputation for academic excellence. The competition, designed to promote intellectual growth, healthy academic rivalry, and scientific curiosity, featured 96 students from 19 schools across the Ibejuleki axis. Participants were tested in physics, chemistry, biology, mathematics, and general knowledge. Following the event, representatives of Ikwerokun Community Senior High School paid a courtesy visit to the Tutor General and Permanent Secretary of Education District 3, Idowu Oyetola, to present the trophy. Tolaram Science Challenge remains a key platform for nurturing scientific talent and academic discipline among young minds in Lagos State. The Nigeria Social Insurance Trust Fund, NSITF, has unveiled plans to disburse over 172 million naira compensation to 7 employees of different organizations who are beneficiaries of the Employees Compensation Scheme, ECS. Managing Director NSITF, Oluwaseun Falaye, said this in a statement signed by the Deputy General Manager and Head Corporate Affairs Department, NSITF, Alexandra Mide. Falaye said the financial support of the agency was robust enough to provide the kind of support that will help cushion the effect of unfortunate incidents when they do occur. He stressed the importance of activating the social safety net required to build a resilient civil service in order for all members of staff to always give their very best for the transformation of the society. Now to the rest of the stories. The federal government has called for stronger regional collaboration to turn Africa's international borders from flashpoints of conflict into platforms for peace, economic development, and integration. The appeal came during the 2025 African Border Day celebration held in Abuja. In a keynote address, Director General of the National Boundary Commission, Adamu Adaji, underscored the need for African nations to rethink their approach to borders, saying good fences would make good neighbors. Adaji stressed that colonial borders, which were previously seen more as barriers of separation and zones of confrontation occasioned by disputes and conflicts, are now increasingly being turned to bridges of cooperation and integration between nations. The Commission championed the facilitation of equitable utilization of transboundary resources in addition to the effective efforts to demarcate and delimit all boundaries with neighboring countries to prevent conflict and disputes. The federal government has set August 1 as the deadline to begin issuing stiff penalties to foreigners who have overstayed their visas. Minister of Interior Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo said this at a stakeholders sensitization on major Nigeria immigration service innovations in international passenger travel as the service headquarters in Abuja. According to him, once the amnesty period is over, implementing the law will have a 100% effect and there will be a penalty for overstaying in Nigeria. Tunji-Ojo said an online immigration amnesty portal has been open since July to allow affected individuals to regularize their stay before the penalties take effect. He revealed that the electronic combined expatriate residence permit and aliens card and the electronic temporary work permit would go live within the next week. Now to foreign news. United States President Donald Trump says he's setting moves to cut most of the U.S. funding towards foreign humanitarian aid. This could cause more than 14 million additional deaths by 2030. A third of those at risk of premature death are children. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said President Trump's administration had cancelled over 80% of all programs at the U.S. Agency for International Development and USAID. The report comes as dozens of world leaders are meeting in the Spanish city of Seville this week for a United Nations-led aid conference, the biggest one in a decade. United States is the world's largest humanitarian aid provider, operating in more than 60 countries and largely through contractors. The Speaker of the ECOWAS Parliament, Hadja Ibrahima, has called for a strong legal framework for artificial intelligence development across West Africa. She made this call at a delocalized meeting of the Parliament's Joint Committee in Dakar, Senegal, focusing on education, science, and digital innovation. The meeting's theme was prioritizing education technology and innovation in the ECOWAS region. Ibrahima expressed hope that the Dakar discussions would support a clear recommendation for a community legal framework on AI and adopt new learning models to meet global technological demands. She said digital transformation and innovation, especially in education, must be prioritized to shape the future of the sub-region. Now, sport. Nigeria's under-20 male team, the Flying Eagles, has converged again on Abuja for the final phase of preparations for the CAF WAFU B Under-20 Boys Cup, which will be played in Ghana from July 10 to 23. The tournament is organized to foster regional collaboration and showcase emerging football talent across West Africa. The maiden edition in Accra, Ghana, will bring together 13 national under-20 teams from across WAFU zones A and B. It will be recalled that the initial campaign ended abruptly due to the postponement of the tournament, and the head coach of the team, Aliyu Zubairu, has confirmed the resumption of the team after a new date was announced by the organizers. The team's camp in Abuja comprises some of the players that have helped the country pick the ticket to the 2025 Under-20 World Cup in Chile and a few new players. And that is our news at 10. Just before we go, always carry out proper and adequate checks on your vehicle before setting out. You can follow us and like all our various social media platforms: X at Traffic Radio 961, Facebook Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM, Instagram Lagos Traffic Radio 961. Subscribe and watch news and programs live on YouTube at Traffic Radio 961. Visit our website on www.trafficradio961.ng. You can also listen to Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM live on My Lagos app for timely updates. Did you know that the Sanwo-Olu administration organized a mentorship seminar for over 1,000 youths on the theme Agripreneur Strategy for Wealth Creation? Can get more details on the Lagos State Government website. To end the news are the highlights of major stories. Lagos State Government has reaffirmed its unwavering commitment to providing accessible, high-quality education and vocational training to all its residents. Federal government has called for stronger regional collaboration to turn Africa's international borders from flashpoints of conflict into platforms for peace, economic development, and integration. We also told you that the United States President Donald Trump said he is setting moves to cut most of the U.S. funding towards foreign humanitarian aid. And in sport, Nigeria's under-20 male team, the Flying Eagles, has converged again on Abuja for the final phase of preparations for the CAF Wafubi Under-20 Boys Cup, which will be played in Ghana from July 10 to 23. For contact with the newsroom, send a message to info@trafficradio961.ng. That ends the news broadcast compiled by Adesua Ejoyoka. I am Dele Agadumo. Good morning. Thank you for listening.